Superpower. I was going to say Lewis Howes. I don't know if it's Lewis Howes, Lewis Hughes. It's Hoews. I believe, over 1 million subscribers to his podcast, or to his YouTube. I forget which. But he's very famous, and there's a reason why he's famous, because he's good. Like, you might have heard that expression, "Be so good they can't ignore you." I want to talk about what I see as a Lewis Howes superpower, and I think it's kind of like personification of what Dale Carnegie talked about, which is just a genuine interest and curiosity in people. Like I talked in an earlier episode today about how your energy flows in or it flows out. Like, if you feel vulnerable in your sense of self, then you try to always protect yourself. But if you feel secure in your sense of self, then your energy flows out into the world. It moves from what I call in one of my books, from domination to discovery. Instead of trying to manipulate people, it moves to actually being interested in people and trying to help people. Because you realize that when you help people, you help yourself. So I think Lewis Howes is very much in the discovery thing. Like, his superpower, one of them, is that he asks the question that he really wants to know. Like, what happens is most interviewers ask the question that they think they should ask, or they think the audience is curious about, which I think it's good to ask what your audience is curious about, because you have to a little bit tailor to your audience. But Lewis just asked the question. You can see it in his eyes, and you can see in his face. He has a little twinkle, I think. Like, I'm not saying he's like Tinkerbell, but he has a little twinkle in his eyes when he asks questions that, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say they're eccentric, but they're like, you can just tell that he has a personal interest in it. Like, the person will say something and he'll say, I don't even have an example. It's just like, you could tell, like, he's asking what he's interested in. It's kind of like he's having a conversation. Nobody else is there. I mean, not like he has no followers in the world. And I think it's a superpower because he's genuinely interested in people and he feels comfortable in his own skin. But the other part of his superpower that I want to talk about is the organization, because the most hardest working and talented people in the world are the ones that make the almost impossible things look easy. Like, it's so hard to get the amount of followers that he does. And he has like a 2 hour podcast, or 1 or 2 or 3 hour podcast sometimes, I think pretty much every day. But with top people in the world, like, to be able to get Grant Cardone, and then the next day you get Jordan Peterson or whoever it is, and the next day you get Tim Ferriss. Like, I'm just making up a few of the names, but they're people of that caliber. And then Joe Dispenza. I mean, I've seen some of his interviews with some of these people. Excuse me. And it's just like he must be really on top of his team. He must have like a great team, and they must be functioning highly well. Like, on my team, I have to be honest. My team doesn't function at the level of his team, and I don't know if it's my team is good. I mean, don't think I'm not putting down my team. I mean, I have an amazing team, but the next level of my team would to be have a team like his. Like, and I don't know anybody on his team, but I know the results of his team. I know, like, what they're putting out there, and I know the quality of it. I know the frequency of it. So I think Lewis Howes' superpower is a combination of empathy, curiosity, self-confidence, quiet self-confidence, curiosity, like I said, um, teamwork, and contribution to the world. And from what I understand, he used to be a professional football player.